Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm so excited about our next presenter. Her name is Dr. Sharon Bryant Jarmon, and she's a 30-year-old retired military spouse. And her husband has served 27 years in the U.S. Army National Guard. She is the mother of one son and the second born of 7 siblings. She's a licensed minister of the gospel, and she's traveled extensively throughout the United States. Dr. Jarmon serves as the director of the Anointed One Summers Camp Group program to promote learning success for early childhood children during the summer months, and she's taught English online for Vibe Kid. Dr. Jarmon has wrote many children's songs and has taught early childhood education for over 20 years. We're so excited to have her because she is our very own program coordinator with the Champs Peer Program here at Ashford University, and she is the facilitator of the Engaging Across Generation Chat, which can be seen via Zoom the second Tuesday in each month. Dr. Jarmon is the moderator for the Ashford University Doctoral Facebook group, and this October she earned a PhD of education with a specialization in distance learning, and not to mention this is her second doctorate degree. So as you can tell, Dr. Jarmon has a passion for children and furthering their education. So with no further ado, Dr. Jarmon, we're so excited to have you here with us today, and if you will move the slide. This first disclaimer states that an online degree from Ashford University does not lead to immediate teacher licensure in any state. I'm going to give you just a few seconds to go over this slide. And the next slide says that Ashford University provides links to other websites and institutions for our convenience, but is not responsible for anything that is shared here today. So Dr. Jarmon, the floor is yours.
Well, hello, everyone. I'm excited to be here. I am so grateful to be here. So tonight we're going to talk about promoting a high quality and effective learning environment. And first of all, before I go any further, I do want to thank Dr. Shipley and to our president, Dr. Swinson, and to all the early childhood staff of Ashford University. Thank you for this opportunity. And a little bit more about myself. As Dr. Shipley mentioned, I really have a love for children, and I'm excited that I worked with children for years. And as you read over my education information here, that'll let you know how much I have love for education and children. And the picture here below is a picture of my husband and myself and my son. And more life experiences here. I've traveled internationally and all over the world, for many countries, with the love for children. For just to name a few places I've traveled: in Bali, Uganda, George, South Africa, Otran, Nairobi, Kenya, and London, England, all for promoting early childhood education. Looking back, as a child, can any one of you remember your first or early childhood experience? What was that environment like? Was it chaotic? Was there confusion? Think about that. We want to know what was your experience? Can you remember that experience? Because the childhood experience brings a lasting reflection upon the child. What was that one thing in the classroom that caught your attention? Was there noise in the class from the children playing as you entered? Were there colorful pictures on the walls as you looked around? Or were there inviting learning resource centers for the children to join as they entered the classroom? Studies suggest a poor managed, chaotic classroom is not subject for student learning. I quote, "Implementing effective classroom management techniques could considerably improve the effectiveness of classroom teaching and student learning." And as educators, we have to view the early childhood classroom environment through the eyes of children. And the central basis for the early classroom environment should promote a high quality and effective learning environment. And as children look back to remember their first classroom experience, let it be a memorable one. My philosophy of early childhood education is effective developmental learning experience will promote a lifetime of change in the life of a student. Do everything you can do to impact change. During this session, we will discuss the importance of organizing an engaging classroom environment. The objectives for this session: the early childhood classroom environment is subject to chaotic occurrences when a lack of structured classroom setting, when it lacks structure, when it lacks organization, when that lacks clear directions for the children to follow, when it lacks appropriate material and equipment, and if it lacks opportunities for learning. Another thing, it lacks protection for the children's health and safety, even when challenging behaviors arise. At the end of this session, the participants will be able to understand how chaos in the classroom can impact a child's learning. The participants were able to apply strategies to remove any hindrance from the classroom to ensure that students effectively learn. This session is based on the theoretical framework of Lev Vygotsky and Albert Bandura. Vygotsky theory emphasized on how social factors and environment influences and affects children's learning. He also studied how children the actual development of learning is determined by independent problem solving of his or her level of potential development, which is based on being under the guidance of an adult or capable peer. As children engage in play, teaching, learning, and relationship skills are being developed. And when chaotic occurrences happen in the classroom, it does affect the teacher's comprehension to teach the children. And students' ability to learn in the classroom is lost due to a chaotic environment. The theorist Albert Bandura, he developed the social learning theory based on the theory of personality, stating that how children have the ability to establish classroom rules and procedures to manage their challenging behaviors. And when incidents take place in the classroom, children are able to manage their challenging behaviors, nor are they able to independently become problem solvers for effective learning. A sample of a chaotic classroom environment. The classroom consists of 12 4-year-old children, 10 boys and 2 girls, and 1 teacher. The classroom, it has no direct academic structure. The students are able to move free as they like. No age-appropriate materials and equipment available for students' access. The classroom displays inappropriate pictures on the walls and promote chaotic behaviors to occur. The classroom is not organized with directions for the children to enter appropriate learning resource centers. Inappropriate loud music is playing as the children enter the classroom. The teacher has no control over the learning environment. Questions for our participants to consider. What are the present issues in the sample classroom? What relevant issues did the teacher face? What might be the challenges or the barriers for effective classroom success? And what strategies would educators recommend to the teacher to ensure a structured environment would be successful for learning within the classroom? What affects learning? A student's classroom that is subject to chaos and fear affects the learning and can a student's focus and achievements in the classroom. I quote, "The way in which a teacher organizes their classroom or how they control it will yield a positive or negative consequences for the students to follow. It is certain that when students gain an understanding of the social expectations of the teacher in the classroom, based simply on how desks are arranged, the students will effectively learn. Because the students' learning is affected by the physical structure in the classroom, the materials, the equipment, the learning resources presented for the students to use, or how the room is arranged, pictures displayed on the wall, the loudness of the music, classroom rules, and the energy in the classroom. All of these will impact how children have the ability to focus and learn in the classroom. The picture below here is an example of how the classroom environment should be appropriately set up. At the end of the day, within the classroom, children would know that a structured learning environment would bring a sense of serenity and not chaos. Some simple strategies to remove hindrances in the classroom that will promote effective learning environment. One is to modify the seating arrangement by organizing the desks in a round circle for the children to all come together. For a teacher to be quick to establish structure. A structured classroom consists of routines, expectations, and provide few opportunities for challenges to arise. The teacher should assure that there are enough materials that are interesting, engaging, are readily available for the students to access. If it is it is appropriate for the student to have suitable teaching materials in the classroom. This is a key for students' interest of learning and understanding when they have suitable, age-appropriate materials for them to use. The specific level of chaos occurrences within a classroom play a large role in motivation of young language learners. And one key item is there must be guided activities which are short and exciting and should be always present new ideas for the children. And the teacher should provide children with appropriate opportunities to exert their powers of choice of activities to choose rather than expecting them to take on one activity at a time. More strategies. We must be sure as teachers to award positive behaviors. Children love to be acknowledged for doing what they're supposed to do. The teacher should compliment the appropriate behavior rather than attempt to punish inappropriate behavior. Teachers should allow the children to take ownership of responsibility in the classroom. Do you know teachers should create jobs for the children too, such as line leader, lunch helper, a teacher assistant, or etc. Teachers should ensure that each child has a job in the classroom to facilitate continual feelings of capabilities. Most of all, teachers should take time for themselves to prevent burnout within a chaotic environment. The teacher needs to take a mental break sometimes. A nurturing environment. According to Finley, it is important to organize an engaging classroom environment where children's physical, social, emotional, cognitive, and developments are fully developed. For the physical development, there must be coordination of strength to improve the child as they lift or to carry stacks of blocks. Their small muscles are developed in a structured classroom. For the social development, cooperation with negotiation of skills are practiced as children play. Led by teacher guided activities. The emotional development, skills are gained from the sense of competence while establishing a building task of cooperation with friends as the teacher provides children with appropriate opportunities. In their cognitive development, which is problem solving, communication skills are developed as children solve problems and balance of symmetry and inherent construction. This picture here shows how effective learning environment as children play, learn, and grow together. Must be the aspect and the whole role of an effective learning environment as children play, learn, and grow together. In summary, chaos in the early childhood classroom, it will affect the student's potential to learn. But as educators, implement order, classroom rules, procedures will be established. Children's challenging behaviors will be managed. And the reduction of chaotic occurrences will be reduced. And a high quality learning and effective environment will be promoted. And I want to thank you right now. Here are my references of my study of this session. And I have more references here as well. And at this time, we will take time for Q&A. If you have any questions, please, you can send your messages or your questions within the chat. And I want to thank everyone for attending today. Thank you. I am Dr. Sharon Jarmon. My email is sharon.jarmon@ashford.edu. And I look forward to hearing from you all. Thank you so much.